Hey guys, it's Baby Bear, and I'm back for another update of the update edition. So, as you can see here, Chaos again straightens me out. I thought that sending ground troops to monsters will always result in wounded because I've tried it before. However, when I was trying it, I didn't reset it to one tier. And so now that I know that I can get 0 wounded with using my ground march, I want to test it out. Why? Because obviously we need to train for the pan monsters, but also the biggest ideal situation is you have 6 marches to just constantly monster rally. And even if you can only do, Serbius juniors, 1s and 2s with Elise and maybe Patronus, maybe a second cavalry march, that's great. You have way more ability to get more monster chests. So always wanted to test things out. I try to do videos on updates. A lot of times it's hard to secure all that research before putting out a video, before it just is not relevant anymore. So the one thing about Evony is I'm coming at you guys as just a normal player. You guys are sharing the experience with me, and you're going to share my fails, and you're going to share all of the mistakes that I make. And I try to do this to pass it off to you guys so you don't make the same mistakes that I do. So that's kind of the point of this channel, right? Like, it's, if you want to look at mechanics, if you want to look at the people who are really great all-star players, there are so many great YouTubers out there that do that content. But I'm just a normal player that makes mistakes, that also wants to learn and maximize my game efficiently. So here we're going to show you guys the very starting hunt of the Ymirs with my ground general. Now, you saw in that comment there that Chaos said that he can hit 3s with his Scipio. So I'm going to obviously test it out with the 2. And if the 2 is successful, then we will move on to 3. And so this is called testing your ceiling. And I think I've told you guys this before, but you should always try to test out your max ceiling of 0 wounded, because it's foolish to always hit monsters when you're constantly getting wounded. You want to really focus on getting 0 wounded monsters. Now, sometimes it's worth it, right? So sometimes I will always take that wounded for Ymir 5s or Sphinx 6s because those chests are worth it, and it's worth it for the Alliance to get those chests. But for the most part, you really want to work on hitting monsters with 0 wounded. So as you can see here, I told you guys this before, I can never find any monsters, and I will be scrolling forever trying to find Ymirs, and of course the golems are tricking me because it's the same coloring. And so this is how I can't ever find monsters. So this is how I end up on the other side of the map. It's not intentional. It's just, that's just the way I cannot find anything. So right now I'm trying to find a level 3 monster to test out the Elise March because I want to show you guys if she can handle 0 wounded with ground troops. So, are we ever going to find anybody? Are we ever going to find anyone? This is also why I really value the smaller players like Nudie and Ren, and just the people that can find targets for me, because I can never find anything. I literally have to ask them every day to find me a tile 15. Can never find one. I mean, is it just me, or is like our map just barren with no monsters? I just want you guys to see how long it takes to just find a freaking level 3 around here. All right, so we're going to do a Neon monster instead of a Ymir with the Elise, just to see if we can take that down. Now that's 89 million power, so pretty sure if we could clear a Ymir 2, we can clear this guy. But let's check. And you'll see zero loss there. And I should have shown you guys an example with the actual PvP march with all the layers, because that's what I was doing prior and probably why I was getting wounded on those. But I was too busy looking for a freaking Ymir 3. I'm going to have to probably fast forward this all. There's a 4. Okay. So obviously with the 4, I know the ground march is not going to work, but I guess I'm going to test it out. I'm going to test it anyway. And you'll see that there is a loss there. Not too bad, though, for a level 4. Okay, so my thinking and my thoughts would be to just do the level 3s, but, you know, let's just test it out on Acerbius because these are very important monsters. Okay, that's not bad, but it's for me, it's still too much wounded. I wouldn't waste using an Elise for that level when I can use a Cav March or an Archer March for that. And we can test out this guy with Elise. And I know I'm going to get wounded on that one. It's 187 million. My March capacity is 357, or the troop power. And Evony doesn't know what to do. They're calculating it. Okay. So again, if I was desperate for monsters, I could use an Elise because I think the chest would even out. Okay, I'm not really sure what I'm looking for right now. All right, we finally found a level 3 Ymir. Let's see what I plan to throw at it. 120 million. Okay, testing it out with Elise. Okay, 0 power loss. So for me, I know that my ceiling for Elise is going to be Ymir 3. And letting Chaos know that he's right. So just remember, when you're using your ground PvP March to reset it and only send your top T14 tiers to those monsters. And now you have an extra monster March to rally with. Also, now that I have 6 presets, it's good to have that last preset March to be just the Baber, because you can basically join rallies. So let's say I set 5 rallies and I just want to join one with 1 troop. I can set Baber on that and then just always use that one as my rally joining. Okay, so now I'm fast forwarding to finding another Ymir 3, and yes, it probably took me another 20 minutes to find one. This time we're going to test out Patronus Siege March. So we have 120 million. We're going to go to Patronus. We're going to reset the PvP March so that we're only sending Siege. And that sucks. 2 million. So obviously the ceiling for Siege is going to be much lower. So let's see what else we can test out. And I actually tried to do that one. Okay. Oh, but I'm doing that with archers. Okay, 0 wounded. So again, testing the ceiling for the Archer March, 0 wounded. So I feel very confident that I can get upper medium type troops killed with the Archer March. So I have 1 strong Cav March, I have a secondary Cav March, and then I have the Archer March. Then for Elise and Patronus, it's going to be the lower monsters, maybe 1 or 2 levels. Okay, and again, showing you this so you don't make the same mistake. Yeah, 13 million. That totally hurt, and I wasn't expecting it to be so much, but that kind of shows you, though, that Siege kind of has a weakness with ground. 13 million loss. I don't even think I've ever lost that much on a monster except for Typhoon. which is the boss 17. Okay, so healing the troops, obviously with Siege, you're going to be using gems. So again, showing you my mistake so you guys don't do this, because you don't want to be healing with gems. That would be so counterproductive. So knowing that, Siege, I'm just going to stay at the lower level monsters. However, it's very nice to know that I can get smaller monsters with 0 wounded. My game setting was on medium because of All Stars. And you can tell it's on medium when you don't see the little crosses that pop up on the hospital. Okay, so I definitely ate crap on that march, so I'm gonna definitely use my Archer March to clear up this monster. The Cerberus 2. Oh, I sent Elise. Oh, I'm sending Elise again. Okay. And again, Evony just is like, why are you sending ground marches to this thing? Stop doing it. Just doesn't calculate. There we go. Okay, but again, the benefit outweighs that cost, so it's okay. But just remember, this all freaking adds up, so you don't want to get too much wounded. When you're doing a effort day, this is what we call an effort day, and you're testing your ceiling, get it all out, because the other days you kind of have to be frugal and conserve. Okay, so this is just showing you guys how I can utilize all these different troop types to rally monsters for the Alliance. So you see here we have Cavalry, we have Archer, we have Siege, we have Elise, and we have Baber joining a rally with the 1 troop. And for me, there's nothing more beautiful than being in 6 rallies at one time. Okay, so I cleared that golem because I want you guys to see 0 wounded on all of these rallies that happen coming up, because it's important for you guys to see this. Okay, so I didn't want you guys waiting 5 minutes, so I cut to the rallies kind of returning at this point. Don't mind the burning. It's purge right now before SVS. Okay, so if you see here, all 0. 0 wounded. So one last thought that I think is important to differentiate is we're all different levels of boosts and buffs in general. So when Chaos told me his Scipio was 7.9 million, I know my Elise I think is 8.4. So we're able to kind of clear out certain level of bosses. However, you might have a 5 million general, you might have a 6 million general, so you might have a different ceiling level of what monsters you can take out with ground or siege or cavalry. So it's always important for you to do the testing for your own buffs. This video is just to show that, hey, you actually can send a ground march and get 0 wounded. That's really the whole point of this video. But the second point of this video is you can maximize a lot of monster marches with all of your troop types. Now think if all of your alliance finds their ceiling and all of your alliance is setting these rallies based on their own level, as opposed to just waiting for a big, 1 or 2 bigs to do all the big rallies. You're not maximizing efficiency. Everybody should be rallying, because the more people are rallying, the more you're getting those blue chests, those green chests, and then of course the chests that you join with. So it's really important to have everybody start their own rallies, even if they're small level, because it's going to end up helping you, and people are going to join with 1 troop on a lot of those rallies and still reap benefits from it. So that's all I wanted to say to you guys. Sorry again for another update. I feel like this is going to be the last updated update, and hopefully there'll be some more interesting content on the way. But thank you for sticking in there and sitting while we were searching for Ymir's. That was really painful. I'm sorry, but hopefully some of this helped. So we'll see you guys later.